I have my basic bodice drafted on one half of my pattern paper. I used 1 inch for the underbust dart, that's ½ inch on both sides of the dart leg, and 1.2 inches for the side bust dart. Now I marked 1 inch around my armhole and drew a line downward. I placed the tape on the chest line and marked 1 inch upward, just onto the line I just drew. Now I placed my ruler from that point to the center front of my bust line and drew a line. I extended this line to the second half of my pattern paper. On the waistline, I marked my waist measurement divided by 4 and connected it to the slanted line. I cut open the underbust dart so I can close off the side bust dart. Now I'll close up the over bust dart to avoid gaping. I extended the bust point line to the top, then marked ½ inch on both sides and closed it up. I redrew the over bust line with a slight curve because they obviously don't match up anymore. All that's left is to cut out the excess paper, and that's it for the front. For the back, I marked 1 inch around the armhole, then drew a line down just like I did for the front. Then I marked 1 inch upward from the chest line and connected that point to the center back. I didn't want any darts at the back, so I closed it up, and to do so I extended the dart leg up before cutting out the parts of the pattern paper I won't be needing. I slit the top of the dart, then closed the bottom. Then I redrew the waistline and the chest line. I cross-checked the bust measurements, making sure the slits didn't affect it. Then I cut out the remaining excess paper, and that's it. I'm just going to label it for you to see, then bring on my fabric and cut them out. So I'm using a stretchy fabric for this top because it's the best choice for this style, as it makes room for movement without restrictions or discomfort. I added ½ inch seam allowance all around except for the waist, where I added 1 inch. For the back, I added 1 inch seam allowance to the center back for zipper, added 1 inch to the waist, and ½ inch to the side, armhole, and upper back. I'll be attaching a string to the back of the shoulder, so I'm just going to cut it out from this piece here. So you can make it as long and as wide or thin as you prefer. For me, I cut mine at 32 inches long and 1.5 inches wide. That includes my seam allowances. I'm separating the two pieces for the left and right shoulder. So this is where I'll place the string when I'm sewing it. I'm starting off with the strings, I folded it in half and sewed with about 0.2-inch seam allowance. I left one end open and closed the other so I could turn it inside out easily. I trimmed all the excess at the closed end and then turned it with my long screwdriver. I repeated the same process for the second string, pressed them and set them aside. Now for the front, I sewed the dart close with the same allowance I left. When cutting the fabric from the pattern, if you're inexperienced, I'll advise you mark the dart area with a chalk to guide the sewing process to avoid having a pointy dart. So I sewed the darts close for the left and right front pieces, and then I joined the back pieces to the front by the shoulders. After joining the shoulders, I placed the open end of the string right under the shoulder seam as seen in the video. I aligned the tip of the string with the edge of the inner part of the back and secured it with a pin. I repeated the same process with the left part and sewed it down so I could take out the pins. The next step would be to hem or pipe the neck and armhole. I'm so sorry I lost the footage of when I did that part. So after hemming, I overlapped the front pieces so I could sew them together. I made sure the bottom and sides aligned properly before sewing them down. After that, I joined the front and back pieces using the French seam method. If you found this video helpful, please like it, share it, drop a comment below, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much. After joining both sides, all that's left is to hem the bottom before attaching a zipper to the back. I'll recommend a separating or open end zip for this style. Meanwhile, you can also transform this to a dress. You just need to add a skirt to the waist and you've got yourself a beautiful overlap dress. Thank you for watching to this point.